What's going on, everybody? You're listening to episode 22 of Trash Gear Radio. I'm your host, Tyler, joined today by the Fragmaster himself, Lucas.
Hello.
And back and beautiful, Shrek.
Yeah, it's good to be back from the dead.
Oh, yeah.
Did you miss it? Did you miss not being here?
I missed it. I was talking to myself in the shower all week into the thing the water comes out of. Pretending it was a microphone.
I respect that. I respect it.
Yeah, get some water in my mouth, but I just boosted my ability to speak.
There you go.
All right, so we got a pretty packed episode since this is Chance's day back.
We got that loud pack.
Yeah, what he said. All right, so we're gonna go over a little bit of NBA news, some new trailer release for the Spider-Man movie. Me and Luke's gonna discuss that a bit.
It's gonna get greasy.
We're gonna talk about the playoff week, but first let's do a little bit of a quick fire here. So, first thing is that the college football championship winning team, the Clemson Tigers. Is that what they are?
Tigers?
Yep, Clemson Tigers. They went and visited Donald Trump in the White House and had a great meal of fast food. In a video, it seemed that Trump served them nothing but hot dogs and salads, all from McDonald's.
Big Macs,
Quarter Pounders at Wendy's. It was all American food, so it was all good. Guys, is this a good meal, bad meal? Reaction, real quick.
Good, because this is literally what they asked for, because they said they can't eat that kind of food during the regular season.
Chance?
Yeah, Trump paid for 1,000 burgers out of his own fucking wallet, so... I mean, he brought business to the fast food restaurants. I heard he tipped those guys pretty good. I bet those were some of the best fast food burgers ever made.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, too. You gave that so many people, work. That's what we need in America.
American food, that's what he said.
All right, then. Fair enough. All right, next story is the Cowboys' offensive line in their game against the Rams. We're actually tipping off the Rams to the play before it even began. That's maybe one of the reasons why Todd Gurley and
C.J.
Anderson were able to combine for over 200 yards running. Reaction, Lucas. Is this a very Cowboy-esque thing?
This is the most Cowboy thing to ever happen. And only the Cowboys can do this.
Chance?
Yeah, credit to Sean McVay, the Rams head coach, for looking at the film and seeing these tendencies that the Cowboys defenders had and exploiting that on national television.
It was a bloodbath out there. All right. Next thing, James Harden is actually on his own little streak of his own here. So in the past 17 straight games, he has scored 30 or more points, passing Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady's records. Impressive, Lucas, or not?
Impressive.
Anything else to that?
That's quick. Quick fire.
Yeah, that's impressive. He's looking like his MVP self again.
Fuck James Harden. Next thing, where will Antonio Brown end up? Chance, maybe we'll talk a little bit later about some Antonio Brown, because you weren't here for some of the initial stuff or some of the juicy stuff developing, but where will AB play next year?
Hopefully anywhere but Pittsburgh.
Well, if you had to guess, where would you guess?
Oakland.
Chance,
He's going to be catching bombs from Sam Darnold in the Big Apple.
You think he's going to get traded?
Why not?
Fair enough. I like it. I'm still hoping he's in Arizona, because that means we got something back from Arizona. All right. Last thing. Jalen Hurts transferred to Oklahoma out of the Alabama for his senior year. He's going to be in Oklahoma. Is he going to win the Heisman next year?
I don't know anything about this.
I don't think he'll win the Heisman, but I like the move. Oklahoma's a powerhouse, and I mean, they've had the last two Heisman quarterbacks. I mean, anything's possible.
Better question. Do you think Oklahoma's now going to come back and beat Nick Saban?
No, Oklahoma doesn't have a defense. They're an offensive powerhouse.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, look, the quarterback for Alabama is transferring to Oklahoma. Well, the backup.
The first starter then got replaced by Tua. Now backup is transferring for a senior season.
So, just so you know.
Neat.
Just so you're caught up with the college football. All right, now let's talk some real football, some professional football. Week 2 of the playoffs is this weekend. 4 big games. We're going to start Indianapolis Colts at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs destroyed the Colts pretty much the whole
He
game.
manhandled them.
Yeah, it was a complete letdown. I thought this was going to be a better game.
So is this a show of maybe, I don't know, is Andrew Luck not the quarterback we were hoping and thought he was, or is this, just purely the Chiefs are just that good? Because the Colts could barely even get anything going in this game.
Yeah, Luck looked like he had a noodle for an arm this game. He was underthrowing a lot of receivers, and he made some shitty throws. He didn't really do much of anything until the last 30 seconds before the first half, and then they missed a field goal and got absolutely nothing out of that. I just thought the whole Colts team in general looked pretty beat up, and that was kind of expected against the number 1 seed, I guess. But I expected a closer game.
Lucas?
I mean, it's kind of a combination of both, like the Chiefs playing better than they usually do on defense, and the Colts just playing bad. It's just a bad game. I think Andrew Luck, he's not really used to that kind of pressure. It's been a while, and the Chiefs are good. That's why they're there.
Yeah, I didn't watch a single snap of this football game, but I told you guys, this is not the Alex Smith Chiefs. This is the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. Therefore, they're serious contenders.
I don't think Pat Mahomes threw a touchdown pass.
It doesn't matter, dude. They still won. They still won, okay? Okay.
Yeah, the Chiefs fans at the home field definitely helped. They were throwing snowballs at the Colts players.
Were they really?
Yeah. And Andy Reid.
Yeah, they threw one at Andy Reid. He got pretty pissed off.
He yelled at the crowd.
What do you say to him? How dare you?
I don't know. He was pointing at his head and pointing at the crowd.
Have some respect.
Something like that, yeah.
With his
I just know that he wants to go to the White House now because he saw that fucking fast food
he saw
buffet.
He saw that ensemble of fast food.
He wants some of them Trump burgers.
Ugh, could you imagine how delicious those would be? Or not delicious, depending on how you look at it.
Imagine how much time the workers put into these Big Macs knowing they were going to the White House.
You know, those are some of the best Big Macs ever made. They probably look like
Load
the Big
them
Macs
with
in the
sauce.
commercials.
Or do you think they were actually some of the worst Big Macs ever made?
No way. Trump would make sure. He would probably send all 1,000 burgers back if one of them was bad.
He would buy that McDonald's and then shut it down.
Probably.
All right, guys. Second game that happened was the Chargers at New England. The LA Chargers are no more. They could not handle Tom Brady like I predicted. And the Brady and Belichick era is still to go. Chance, what was your reaction to this game?
Yeah, once again, this was another boring-ass game. Actually, all the games except for one were pretty fucking boring this weekend. This was an honest blowout I didn't even see coming. The Chargers look like complete dog shit. Like just steaming hot pile of dog shit baking out in your front yard in the summertime. Phillip Rivers, he had some horrible throws. But the fucking Patriots are back, baby. All those people doubted them, but they're showing you that they're up there to contend. They got a chance to go to, what is it, fucking their 9th Super Bowl or some shit.
8th consecutive AFC Championship.
8th consecutive AFC Championship game.
Crazy. Lucas, what was your reaction to the game?
Yeah, so the Patriots, it's really scary because they're underdogs. You know how sad it is that the Patriots are considered underdogs. They're going to win the fucking Super Bowl.
Were they the underdog for this game? They weren't the underdog for this game.
I think
That's
they
what
are.
the media was trying to make them.
I think they are for the Chiefs game for sure.
Yeah,
but
for the Chiefs game they are.
Even if they weren't like in the books, like everyone thinks the Patriots were done.
Hey man,
so I think that helped them a lot. They're out to prove Tom Brady's a fucking madman.
Hey, Tom Brady even in his after game report or after game interview even said he called out the haters who doubted them as a crappy team.
Yeah.
And now look at him. Now he's on his treadmill or whatever, and he said, we're on to Kansas City.
That's going to fuel.
Jamming out to 50 Cent's Many Man
Dude,
song.
I feel bad for anyone wearing a Kansas City jersey. On when do they play? Sunday?
Sunday at 1.
Do I feel bad for anyone even wearing a jersey? Because Tom Brady will bitch slap you in it tomorrow.
Gronk still looks like a corpse, though. He's out there. He's like Frankenstein.
But they don't even throw him. They just use him as an extra. They just use him as a blocker. They just use his body.
Yeah, basically.
Hey, man, with all that braces, you're pretty much a knight at that point. You know what I mean? So just sit there and just hit him. However, looking at the stats, Brady was 343 yards for 1 touchdown. I actually think the story of this game was that the running game and that Sony Michel had 129 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I mean, still, Tom Brady had 34 of 44 passes. He only dropped 10 missed 10 passes all game. And the running game's great, but Tom Brady had a phenomenal game.
Yeah, Julian Edelman, the Patriots wide receiver, had a fucking massive game, too.
151
yards, yeah. And then it looks like Rivers here has had 331 yards with 3 touchdowns. So Rivers.
A lot of that was garbage time at the end of the game, though.
So unfortunately, so where do you think the Chargers are going to be next year? Do you think they're going to be right back in the same situation?
I think they're going to drop off.
Yeah, I think they're going to be worse.
You think?
Yeah.
I think it's like a Steelers situation.
Where do you think? Why do you think they'll drop off?
I just think that they had a really good season, and this year they won't have that good of a season. They'll have to face Kansas City twice again. I know that they beat Kansas City one time this year, but I don't think they'll beat them next year. I think Kansas City is going to get even better.
All right.
Plus, they'll have to play all the playoff teams from this year, too, because they made the playoffs.
Oh, that is very true. So a much harder schedule.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next game, Dallas at the Rams. So we already alluded to this, that pretty much Dallas has given away signals already. But, I mean, it was still a bloodbath. They had, 2 rushers with over 100 yards in Todd Gurley. And what was his name again?
C.J. Anderson.
C.J. Anderson. Jared Goff only had 186 yards, but it didn't even matter because it was such a blowout. The ending score was 22-30, but that was not the tail. It was not that close of a game.
Yeah, Dallas's defense was like the big part of them making the playoffs this year, and they were nowhere to be found during this game. They completely got demolished by LA's run game. They looked like complete bitches, and that's what Cowboys are.
Did Zeke not play?
He had 47 yards, 1 touchdown.
He played. He just literally got shut down by Aaron Donald.
And Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
Ndamukong Suh. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are a fucking wagon.
That's it. That easy.
That's it.
I'm just saying, I'm surprised that Zeke only had 47 yards.
Hey, man, he's their best player, and you got to be like a Bill Belichick, and you got to take away the other team's best player, and that's what the Rams did.
And Michael Gallup had 119 yards receiving, and Dak had 266 yards, 1 touchdown. But
same with the Chargers. That was all like towards the end of the game. It was over halftime. The Rams were already up by like 2 possessions. It was all Rams.
Even though the Rams had that home field, not home field advantage, because I'm sure there was a ton of Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, there was. Post Malone was there. He actually made a $20,000 bet on the Cowboys and lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Rip.
Who'd he bet it on? Or
No,
who'd he bet with? Not on.
I don't know. It must have been like with the bookies or whatever.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if maybe him and some other
No,
some
I just saw a
superstar.
video of him chugging a beer because he was upset.
He was like,
losing.
"Fucking Cowboys." Dude, now there's going to be a song. Bet. It's going to be a banger about the
Can't
Dallas
wait.
Cowboys.
Lost $20,000 on the Cowboys.
All right, then the final game, probably the most exciting game, the Eagles at Saints. The final score 14-20 came down to a last-minute drive by Nick Foles and the Eagles that ended with, what's his name?
Alshon
Jeffrey blowing it, ball right through his hands, right into the hands of, oh man, what's that? What was the Saints?
Marshawn Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore. I couldn't.
You're a
remember
name guy.
Dude, I couldn't remember Lattimore's name. But yeah, Chance reaction. You're the Saints fan here.
Yeah, it was a good game. I don't think it was as close as everyone thinks it was. I don't think Nick Foles was even going to score a touchdown on that ending drive, even if Alshon caught that pass.
I don't know, man. They were driving.
Yeah, they were driving, but the Saints shut out the Eagles for 3 quarters. After the first quarter, the Eagles did not score a single point. So I do not think it was as easy as everyone is making it out to seem.
Dude, I'm just telling you. Drew Brees' butthole was puckered.
He was fine. He had plenty of time. He had all 3 timeouts.
Drew Brees' butthole was puckered, I'm telling you.
Michael Thomas had a day, man.
How many did he have? What did he
12 catches, 170-some yards.
have? Oh,
Touchdown.
yeah. They couldn't even stop.
Oh, he was an animal.
It was just stupid. It was like how every time I saw him, like the ball thrown to him, there was like no one around him for like 5 yards. It was like what are you guys doing?
There's a reason his Twitter handle is "Can't Guard Mike" because you literally can't guard him.
Like it just seemed like the initial defender would then just like were they playing a zone or something like that? Is that what they were trying to?
He's a big-bodied receiver, so you got to play up in his face. But I mean, they tried it. He's just so good and strong. He just threw the motherfucker off him.
Plus, it helps that Drew Brees is just one hell of a fucking quarterback.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
40 years old, still kicking.
And Drew Brees ended the game with 301 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he had a good day. And then, like you said, Michael Thomas had 171 yards, 1 touchdown. So, Lucas, what was your reaction to this game?
Yeah, besides those, like that interception and the one shitty drive, like that game was all Saints. And like Chance said, they shut him out for 3 quarters. The Saints offense woke up. It was all Saints, even though the score was close. It was all Saints.
1 minute, the Saints had a 10-minute scoring drive. They went 93 yards in 10 minutes. Just wasted the entire third quarter.
I was about to say, wasn't that at the beginning of the third quarter?
Yeah,
They
they
completely
literally
ate up
just
the whole
wasted
thing.
the entire third quarter.
That was crazy too. Like, how do you even do that? Like, how
You just have to. It's crazy.
how many third? Do they just have like a ton of third down conversions that
Yeah,
drive?
a lot of them were like 3rd and 20s too, because I think they had 4 or 5 penalties on that drive.
Mhm.
Just kept moving them back. They just kept converting. At that point, I think the Eagles' defense was just so tired
They were
that
just like,
like they
"Fuck
were
it."
just done for the rest
I
of
mean,
the game.
think about playing for 10 minutes straight. Like, everyone has to be tired, but especially the defense. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, because you know, I mean, if you're at least offense, you can kind of take some breaks. Even if you're a receiver, you don't know. You know?
Yeah, defense. Everyone's. I mean, there's not even like substitutes on the defensive side, like as much as there are on the offensive side.
Mhm.
So it had to been tiring.
And I definitely think I can see why the Saints, like, why them getting the number 1 seed overall definitely really helps them make it to the Super Bowl. Because you could clearly tell how hard it was to play in that Saints.
Oh yeah, you can't hear anything when that crowd's cheering.
Mm.
It's insane. I think the Eagles had like 5 false start penalties, a couple delay game penalties, and had to waste some of their timeouts just to prevent penalties.
Yeah.
That's
So-
insane.
So like I said, that's a huge edge for the Saints alone, and I just think it's crazy because you could visually tell. I mean, they were just, it was so loud.
Oh yeah,
So, good week of football though. Good
It was
week.
good football.
good week.
It's
Better
gonna be
week
even
this
better
week.
next week.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of this week, let's just go right into our first game. We got the Rams at New Orleans. Big game. Big game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another close game like the Eagle. I mean, close as in it's going to be like close scoring towards the end.
Mhm.
I think the Saints edge it. I think they win 27-24. But it's going to be a close game. These are the two. This, in my opinion, these are the 2 best teams in the NFL.
The Rams and the Saints.
Yeah.
Lucas?
Yeah, I agree with that. They're the best teams in the NFL. This game could go either way, but I'm picking the Saints because it's at New Orleans. I think just Drew Brees wants it. He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Goff's going to choke. Just bet. 2 interceptions.
If this was in LA, I'd
Write
pick
it down.
what?
2 interceptions.
From Goff?
Yep.
2 INTs.
I like that
Alright.
one.
Goff. So now, like I was saying, I think if this was in LA, I would pick LA. But I think because this is in New Orleans, I'm going to pick New Orleans.
Oh,
Because
I agree. These teams are so fucking close, like evenly matched.
Mhm.
The home field definitely gives the advantage to the Saints.
But I think the other thing that will help is I don't think were the Eagles really even able to touch Breeze at all.
I think they had a sack or 2,
But like they really weren't putting much pressure on. I think the mixture of Sue and Darnold will definitely put a lot more pressure on.
first meeting this season, Aaron Donald had 0 sacks.
I'm telling you, it's still pressure though.
I know it's pressure.
Big game. Regular season game, not as much pressure.
Michael Thomas had 212 receiving yards in the last
Hey,
time
man.
he played.
He had 171 last game, so just hold him under
He
that.
also pulled the cell phone out from underneath the goalpost.
Oh, was that for that game?
Yeah.
It wasn't the one
Marcus
Rams.
Peters,
Yeah,
yeah.
Peters was talking some shit. So like I said, who
Yeah.
knows? This is gonna be a good game. I'm
It's
curious to
gonna be
see
a
who
great
wins.
game.
So, but I'm thinking I'm gonna go New Orleans just for the home field advantage on this one because I think Breeze is a way better quarterback, but so we'll see. Then the last game, New England at Kansas City, for the Arctic burst of
Yeah.
weather. I think it's probably going to be. I think they're predicting it to be the coldest NFL game to ever happen, or something like that.
It's
or
the coldest game in Chiefs history to ever happen in Kansas City.
So this is going to be a cold one. There's going to be a ton of snow, cold weather, a real football game.
Man sport.
Man sport. Who you picking, Chance?
I'll go with the Patriots. I know that they played earlier this season, and the Patriots won just by a field goal. But I think Belichick's going to have a game plan for Pat Mahomes. And I don't think that the Chiefs' defense is going to be as good as they were last week. I think Tom Brady's going to carve them up, even in the snow. I just trust the Patriots more than Andy Reid, the choke artist.
Lucas?
Yep. Tom Brady had a better game last week than Pat Mahomes. The Patriots faced a better team than the Chiefs last week. I think it's going to be all Patriots. Tom Brady's just going to show why he's the best, and Mahomes is going to show why he's a rookie. 2 interceptions.
They're going to sacrifice.
For Mahomes, too?
Write it down.
They're going to sacrifice Gronk's body at halftime to give more life into Brady.
They're just going to, just literally absorb him. And
They are. They're going to, lay him down in, a pentagram and just cut him open, and Brady's just going to, eat his kidneys.
That's why he's deteriorating, because they're fucking feeding him to
Yeah.
Brady.
Would you be surprised?
Brady's, his fucking kelp shakes, whatever he eats, they're actually Gronk shakes. They're pieces of Gronk that he's slowly
Just
consuming.
ACLs and fucking
You're
hamstrings.
taking his tendons out and surgically implanting them in Brady.
Just bits and pieces going in there. Hey, man, it's working. I'm also going to go New England on this. I think until I see Tom Brady lose this year, I'm going to pick Tom Brady. I also think that this weather plays into Brady's strong suit of shorter passes, a lot more running game to it. Ever since the Chiefs lost Kareem Hunt, they obviously haven't had nearly as good of a running game, and speed is tend to be taken down in the colder weather. It's going to be definitely a factor. The Patriots practice in this cold weather. The Chiefs don't, I'm sure. So I think this is going to be a good game, but I think New England's going to win this.
Yeah, Brady's going to get his nut before the game from his supermodel wife. He's
Oh,
gonna get ready.
Giselle. Oh, yeah.
That's how he heats up and warms up, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so then look at that. That's the first time ever we got 2 games all the way filled out. I mean, there is only 2 games, so it's really pretty easy to have, that. But wait and see. So, Chance, why don't you talk a bit about the AB situation? Since you weren't here yesterday, or not yesterday, last podcast. I'm out of it today. Wild.
I can tell.
Last pod.
Yeah, so I don't know what exactly you guys talked about, but
just start from the beginning, Chance. Start from the beginning.
We don't need a whole update. Just
No,
from recently.
Okay, so I mean, I guess AB, he's still being an asshole. He's not returning any calls from any of his teammates or owners still, even though his owners and his coach has publicly gone to the media and said so. You'd think that he'd have some sort of motivation to contact them, but he hasn't because he's an asshole. But over the weekend, before the playoff game on NFL Network, they had Emmanuel Sanders, Broncos wide receiver, former Steelers wide receiver, on the show, and they asked him some questions about AB and Big Ben and the Steelers because Emmanuel Sanders and AB were drafted the same year as the Steelers. They formed the Young Money crew back then. Basically, Sanders said that AB is being a diva, and he needs to just basically shut his mouth and play football. I mean, he's under contract. He just needs to show up, start being a team player, and stop being so selfish. And today, Wednesday, January 16th, AB decided to call Sanders out on Twitter. They've been beefing all day, going back and forth. AB's basically been calling Sanders a snake. Bruce Arians, former Steelers offensive coordinator, who was there the year AB got drafted. He is now the Buccaneers head coach. Basically came out today and said that AB also needs to stop being a diva. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and he needs to act like it. I personally think this is affecting his character. I think he's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer at this point. Much like T.O. hasn't gotten in first ballot, he's obviously one of the best wide receivers in the league history. He's like second in stats, touchdowns and receiving yards, I believe. But it took him a couple years to get in because he's such a dickhead. I think AB is going to go through the same thing. He didn't make All-Pro team this year solely because of the antics he threw in Week 17. Several writers came out and said that they didn't vote for him for that reason. That pissed him off. But, I mean, I wouldn't vote for him either. Basically, he just needs to stop being a dick.
Now, you really think that this will push him back from being maybe a first ballot Hall of Famer?
100%.
For sure.
I feel like a guy like Larry Fitzgerald who shows up every week, he's on a horrible team. Larry Fitzgerald has not been on a good team ever.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Super Bowl one time back when Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, was still playing. In 2008, lost to the Steelers. He will be in the Hall of Fame before Antonio Brown. He will be first ballot because he shows up and he helps his team. He doesn't bitch. He doesn't complain. AB, he acts like a spoiled kid. He's 31 years old, and he acts worse than probably a midget football player, attitude-wise.
See, I think my thing, like with T.O., he went to what, 3 teams?
Yeah, I think Antonio Brown would do the same thing.
You think AB is going to go to somewhere he's
going to get traded to somewhere he doesn't like because he doesn't have a say. The Steelers can just send him where the hell they want.
And plus, he has a contract long enough that
so
where he goes will actually matter.
So he's got 3 years left on his deal. Wherever they send him, I think in 3 years he'll be moved. He might even be moved before then. I think he's a big locker room cancer. I think whatever team he goes to, he's going to remain the same. Teams aren't going to put up with this shit, especially after the Steelers get rid of him once. He'll be like T.O., and he'll travel around the league for a couple of years.
Lucas, do you have any opinion? See, I'm just curious to see. I would like to see him go to a shitty team. I think if
He will. He will.
if he got traded to a shitty team, and he still acted up like that, I agree that it would definitely affect it. I think if he goes to some team and he just goes not back to how he was, but just you don't hear another really big rumble out of him. I think then this will kind of be forgotten about. No, not completely, but just kind of be forgotten about a bit. You know what I mean?
I just don't see him like changing his attitude at this point. He's on a potential playoff team every year with the Hall of Fame quarterback. He's put up like Hall of Fame numbers in Pittsburgh, and he's still acting like a diva. So going to a shittier team with a worse quarterback and a different system, I just don't see him acting any differently.
No, I'm not saying I disagree.
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, I know.
I just think if he goes from one team to the other and that's it, I think it will be lessened. But I think if he hops around like how T.O. hopped around from different team to different team,
he will
I think
hop
that will
around.
be bitter.
I don't see him staying wherever he's traded.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense how someone can act like this. It's just not. I can't fathom it.
Dude, the Steelers went from the triple Bs to 1B real quick.
Yeah, that will be not much longer either.
So we go from triple B to no B. All right, Lucas. That's the end of our football talk. But is there any hockey talk you want to talk about?
Yeah. So, like I said last week, the Pens are on their Western road trip. They've played 2 games since the last pod. One against Anaheim, one against LA. Against Anaheim, we played a phenomenal game. We went down 3-0 real early, but then we came back, scored 7 fucking goals. The most lit thing I've ever seen. Gensel with another hat trick. That dude's on fire. And then we were at the LA Kings. We lost pretty badly. Casey DeSmith was in net. Not much to it besides that. And then last night at San Jose, just ugly game. Crystal Tang had a decent game, sick goal, but we lost 5 goals. I don't know. There's not much going on with that. It's just a couple bad losses.
Hey, man, it happens, yeah.
It happens.
Any other league-wide news you want to mention or anything?
Nah.
Nothing too crazy. Okay. Well, I'll talk a little bit about basketball then. Chance with the Air J, I like it.
Oh yeah, jump shot.
So, All-Star voting is still going on. Luka Doncic is actually making a big leap right now. So I'm actually hoping he gets enough votes to become the All-Star captain, because it's very rare for rookies to be in the All-Star game alone, as it is. But let alone for him to do that and make captain would be even better.
Saw that jump shot he put over KD the other night.
Oh,
that
dude,
three-pointer.
He's so good. It's stupid how good he is. And
Oh,
he got picked third. Think about that. He got picked third.
Yeah, I think the Mavericks made out.
Oh yeah, they definitely made out. They're actually they're looking to trade their pick from 2 years ago, Dennis Smith Jr., who was I think like a 7th overall pick, and he actually showed a lot of promise. But because of how good Luka Doncic is, they're looking to trade him to get better assets to build around Luka, which I think is a good
That's
move.
what you got to do. You got to keep that guy
Once
around.
you have your core player that you know that it's like just build around him and you'll be a winner. So, but what I wanted to point out was actually the Golden State Warriors. They played against the Denver Nuggets, who were number 1 in the West. Golden State was number 2, so this is kind of a pretty big game. In the first quarter, they scored a record 51 points in one quarter.
Golden State?
Golden State.
Jesus.
51 points in one quarter.
Jesus Christ.
The game ended at 142-111 final. I'm just going to give you a quick stat lines. Kevin Durant had 27 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists in 29 minutes. Steph Curry had 31 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in 29 minutes. And Klay Thompson had 31 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist in 24 minutes.
No double-doubles, no triple-doubles?
No, none of that.
Trash.
But the fact that they can score, the fact that Klay Thompson scored 31 points in 24 minutes.
What was Draymond's stats? How good did Draymond?
6
do?
points in 2
4.
minutes.
Oh, actually, he did 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 13 assists. And he actually had a plus-minus of 41, which is stupid.
I heard Boogie Cousins is coming back. Do you think
That is the other thing.
You think
Boogie
he
is coming back by either by the time this podcast is released or by the time the next podcast is released. Boogie should be back and playing.
Do you think he's gonna knock Draymond off the bench?
No. They'll have a starting 5 of Steph, Klay, KD, Draymond, and DeMarcus Cousins. They will have a starting lineup of 5 All-Stars.
Jesus Christ.
5 recently, literally
What a
last year.
sick
Last
sport.
year, all 5 of them were All-Stars.
What a sick league.
So, well, I mean, Draymond's still coming, or not Draymond. DeMarcus is coming back from a blown out Achilles, so I'm curious to see how he's going to actually be. And the other great thing is that if he acts up, they can just cut him because they're only paying him $5 million. So I just think it's crazy that even happened. 51 points. They clearly showed that if they even give a damn about the regular season, they can just blow out any team they want to. And then also the other thing that happened was Jimmy Butler went back to Minnesota. Or actually, no, Minnesota came to Philadelphia in Jimmy Butler's revenge game. You want to guess the final score of that one, Lucas?
112 to 99, Sixers.
107 to 149.
Who had 149?
Philadelphia.
Oh, shit.
It was a bloodbath. Karl Anthony Towns finished with 13 points. Derrick Rose finished with 15. Andrew Wiggins was 12. Jimmy Butler had 19. Joel Embiid had 31 and 13. Ben Simmons had 20, 11 and 9. It was just a bloodbath. And then Joel Embiid then went to Instagram afterwards to troll, saying, "Glad I could be one of the third stringers," trying to bring back the story how Jimmy Butler took a bunch of third stringers and destroyed the starting lineup. So, hey man, sucks to be Minnesota right now. That's all I gotta say. And also, this also came up today. Sixers might look to move Jimmy Butler by the end of the season, by the end of the trade deadline, because they don't like his attitude, believe it or not.
Wow, that's surprising.
And so the fact that they don't want to pay a 30-year-old a 5-year, $190 million contract is also the thing that's looming. Because with a contract that big, it's kind of like you're set with that player for essentially you have to win. At that point, you're winning with the championship of Joel, Jimmy, and Ben Simmons.
Don't they have a couple young guys on the team that have expiring contracts soon?
I think T.J. McConnell maybe, and like a couple other players like
Whippy guy.
The problem was that like Markelle Fultz clearly is not what he should be. You know what I mean?
Is he even back yet?
No, he's not even playing. Like he's just off the team at this point. But they won't get rid of him because he was the first number one overall pick. It just has mind problems. And all their other, I mean, they picked what, like 3 other centers within the top 3 picks overall. Like the previous years, none of them have hit except for Joel. So just curious to see what comes out of Philadelphia. And hey, at least they're being smart. Don't pay a guy that you don't want.
Exactly.
So, all right, Lucas. You want to talk about this Spider-Man teaser trailer that they just recently put up?
All right, so the new Spider-Man movie coming out, Spider-Man Far From Home, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's the second one with this new Spider-Man in the current Marvel timeline. So it was a good trailer. The movie looks good. It's going to be cool to see Mysterio as a villain. But the one problem I have with it, all right, so it releases in July, and Avengers Endgame releases in April. So in the last movie, we saw Spider-Man die to Thanos, dust in the wind. So we don't know what happened to him. But now we know this trailer takes place after Avengers Endgame, so we obviously know he's coming back. Right? Isn't that kind of stupid? Wouldn't you want to leave the suspense?
I haven't seen any movie, but I agree.
So wait. So you're saying that because we know, because currently in the
we
MCU,
think Spider-Man's gone.
Spider-Man is gone.
Yeah.
But
now we know he's going to come back somehow.
Don, does this movie take place after Infinity War?
The writers even said so.
Okay, well now here's the other thing though, is that everyone knew that there was going to be another Spider-Man movie. Even like whenever Infinity War was released, everyone knew there was going to be another one. But it also
showed like Nick Fury in the Spider-Man movie. Like you don't know what happens to him.
Don't like a lot of people die in that movie?
Yeah, like you obviously dies. You know there's going to be a way that like they all come back, if not most of them come back in the next movie.
So
but why would you show it?
Because just
wait.
You as the consumer know.
It's all about money, Lucas. They gotta start building up that hype.
Like Lucas, I see what you're saying in the fact that like it's stupid because technically in the story he is dead and he is gone, not dead, just gone.
Yeah, but we know he's coming back. That's what the next movie is all about. It's just how it's going to be a happy ending. But like, I just think them showing it was just unnecessary.
Well, so when's the new movie coming out? When is the
April?
It comes out. No, not the next Spider-Man.
July.
In July, and the Marvel Avengers is in
April.
And then when is Captain Marvel? March?
I don't know. I think it looks stupid.
Okay, well that's like the connecting between Avengers 3 and 4. Anyway, I just think it's one of those things where everyone knew. If you looked it up, everyone knew there was going to be another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, but like, why would you show it?
Because like, why wouldn't you?
Or why wouldn't you say it takes place before Avengers? But now we know it takes place after Avengers. It's just my opinion, bro.
I just think you're getting real. Your feathers are getting real ruffled here for no reason.
I hate trailers because they just give so much away.
That's why I don't watch them.
I could literally watch like 0 seconds of a movie before I saw it, and I would still want to see it the same amount. Like, trailers just ruin it.
Game of Thrones teaser trailer came out for the last season. I haven't watched a single fucking thing. They don't plan on it.
So you really hate trailers that
I hate
much?
trailers. I don't want to see anything.
I agree. I think trailers are dumb.
They give so much away.
I use trailers to help decide whether or not I want to see a movie.
No.
I only see movies that I know I want to see to begin with.
I like descriptions. And if it's something I don't know, like if it's like a random ass movie, I'll check out the trailer. But especially for like franchises like this that you know the basis, you know, like you're gonna see it. Especially for Star Wars. I hate Star Wars.
I don't watch any Star Wars trailers.
They give so much away for no reason.
I don't watch any of them.
Like, you just give me a title and that's it.
They also build up dumb hype.
Yeah.
But like you do understand why there are trailers. And stuff,
yeah.
Right?
It's for the normies that don't normally watch or care for the franchise.
Why are you giving so much away in this fucking 2-minute trailer?
I don't disagree with you completely. I'm just saying that trailers are a necessary part of the movie making process.
I know.
I think all it should be is like the title, the date, who's in the movie. That's it.
Yeah, and a description.
Nothing else.
No.
You guys are baffling my mind right now. You don't want anything else?
No, dude. That's leave it up to your imagination.
Like in the Spider-Man trailer, I only watched it once. I don't remember perfectly, but you saw so much in this teaser trailer. There's going to be at least 5 more trailers come out before the movie.
You saw Spider-Man. Pretty much the premise of the teaser trailer is that Spider-Man is going on a summer vacation with his classmates or friends, and he's like, "I'm not going to take the spider suit." Then obviously things go bad. They're going to London. Things go bad. Nick Fury shows up and like.
Why would you show Nick Fury? Like, why would you put that in a trailer?
I will agree with you. Like, why would you show?
You saw this cool new Spider-Man suit. Like, he was wearing all black.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say it was a Hawaiian shirt and shit because he's on vacation.
Like, why would you show that? It's just unnecessary.
And then Jake Gyllenhaal shows up. Is he the villain or is he a hero?
He's a villain. Okay,
and then you see him fight like 3. I don't want to say elemental baddies, but kind of elemental baddies. But like, it looked cool. I'm gonna see the movie. Lucas, are you gonna see the movie?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I know I like the franchise. I'm just saying, I would have seen it without the trailer, and now I have, now I know what's gonna happen.
He basically has the plot in his head already.
Yeah.
He lays in bed and thinks about
it's so obvious whenever you're this smart. Whenever it comes to movies.
Lucas, you're just too smart.
I'm the movie guy. It's just what it is.
You're just too smart for your own good.
It's just what it is, man. It's a plague.
All right, Chance, do you want to talk about Star Wars and EA and that whole conundrum?
Oh, yeah. It's another heartbreaking scandal on EA's part. Let me find my notes here on my phone. So basically, in 2013, Disney sold the rights to all Star Wars games to the video game publisher EA, everyone's favorite fucking publisher. Basically gave them the entire right to pick what publishers they want to develop Star Wars games. So far, they've only come out with fucking 3 games. Star Wars Battlefront 1, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and a mobile game called Galaxy of Heroes. That is it.
Never heard of it.
Is Galaxy of Heroes any good?
I played it a little bit, like a couple years ago. It's kind of dumb. It's like a grindy game. You like do stupid things and like buy characters and they fight, like turn-based fighting. It's fucking stupid. But since 2013, that's all they've come out with the fucking Star Wars license, which is like one of the biggest licenses in the world.
Since 2013, there's been 5 Call of Duties.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But so yesterday, I'm bringing this up because EA canceled their second canceled Star Wars game in the last couple years. This one was from EA Vancouver's, which is a branch of EA DICE, I believe. They were making an open world game where you would be a bounty hunter. It was supposed to be an RPG. You could travel through all the planets in the galaxy, apparently. It's supposed to be a big game. It's been in development for like 2 years. They just completely scrapped it yesterday. Basically said, fuck you. Because apparently they weren't doing anything that EA liked. There wasn't microtransactions or any way for EA to make money outside of just the game. So they canned it. Like I said, that's the second game they've canceled. In 2017, they canceled a game from Biscroll Studios, which made the Dead Space franchise, and this was supposed to be a third-person action-adventure game similar to the Uncharted series on PlayStation. It was supposed to be about a guy who runs into Han Solo or something, and they were supposed to go on adventures together.
That'd be sick.
Seemed like a cool idea. Once again, it was scrapped because there was no way for EA to make any money outside of basic sales of the game. So, since those both games are canceled, there's only 2 games currently in development under the EA license for Star Wars. One is by Respawn Entertainment, which created Titanfall. It is called Star Wars: The Fallen or Jedi Fallen Order. There hasn't been too much information on it. Like, the title was released during E3 this summer. Apparently, it's a third-person game. I don't know anything about it, but hopefully it doesn't get scrapped. It probably will. And another mobile game is being developed called Star Wars Rise to Power. Apparently, it's a dumb strategy game.
Sick.
So they have 4 years left on this license. There's all kinds of online petitions right now trying to force Disney to give the license up, because in this time frame, 10 years ago, we had all kinds of Star Wars games coming out. Force Unleashed series, the original Star Wars Battlefront series, the KOTOR series, all kinds of different games. EA is basically killing these IPs for no reason other than that they don't appeal to what EA wants, and that is to add microtransactions to all their games in order to make more profit off of them once they're released, which in my opinion is complete bullshit. I think this should be illegal. Disney is obviously fucking themselves by continuing to give EA access to this IP, because they are totally just fucking throwing it into the ground. Battlefront 2 had all kinds of controversy around it. The loot box system and progression system was ultimately changed because fans basically rioted and told Disney that they were going to refund the game, or request refunds and like backcharge them if they didn't change it, and they did. So hopefully Disney listens this time and removes the license from EA.
Yeah, well, that game actually sounds pretty sick, being a bounty hunter.
Oh yeah, dude. It was supposed to be so crazy, and it's been in development. It's close to release, and they fucking canned it.
Imagine if Bethesda got a hold
Yeah,
of
that's
Star
what we
Wars.
want. Another shitty-ass developer making trash-ass microtransactions.
Don't say Bethesda's a shitty developer.
All right, so they haven't made a decent game in a while.
Because they only come out with like a game every 4 years.
Okay, well, fucking Fallout 76 is still a mess. I don't think I've touched that game since November.
I know I haven't.
And
Fucking
Fallout,
regret
one
that
time.
purchase.
Fallout 4 was okay, but it wasn't nearly as good as any of the other games.
I thought
they've
Fallout 4
developed.
was pretty good.
Hopefully they come out with the Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever, and it's actually good.
Oh, dude, it'll be fantastic. So
But, I don't care at this point. I think that there shouldn't be like a certain publisher that owns the rights to anything. I think any developer that has an idea should be able to pitch that to Disney and then make said game without any publisher like overseeing what they do.
Mhm.
I think that this kind of like constricts creative freedom, because you have to be affiliated with EA in order to make a Star Wars game.
yeah, no, I agree, and I think even along with that, it promotes competition in between.
Oh, exactly.
Because I mean, imagine if Bethesda did make like a single person, like a Skyrim-esque, but like Star Wars or something like
Oh,
that.
it'd be
And it
sick.
would-
I'd buy it in a
amazing.
heartbeat.
Exactly, it'd be crazy, and how much money that would make. And then imagine if a company like, I don't know, like Activision or something, then came out with like a more like a multiplayer, like a Battlefront game. Like that would be great, because I mean, Activision does know how to make multiplayer games. you
Yeah,
know?
I just think it's a complete joke that in 6 years they've come out with 2 games that are basically the same fucking game
Mhm.
and a mobile game with the biggest fucking name in the world. Like, Star Wars is literally the biggest fucking IP in the world,
Mhm.
and they've done jack shit with it.
And I think the other thing is that EA was so hell bent on their microtransaction, like that's how you got to make the money, that they didn't realize how much they were actually screwing themselves over.
Oh, they're,
you know what I mean?
they're the worst fucking... I think they've been voted the worst business, like the worst company in business, like 5 years in a row, like dead last.
Well, they should, because I don't understand how they haven't shot themselves completely in the foot. And like DICE makes great games.
Oh,
Like,
they do.
Like all the Battlefield games themselves are great. Like they aesthetically look amazing.
It's just a shame that they have to publish it under EA's name, because it just... I don't know. EA has to throw their fucking 2 cents into everything and ruin shit.
Yeah. Like I said, EA is just a joke right now.
They are. They're fucking trash.
And I don't know why they can't seem to figure anything out. So maybe they need Trash Deer running it.
They do, dude. I could pump out all kinds of fucking
Doctor
ideas
Disrespect
right
running that game.
now. Yeah. He'd
Well, you know,
make it
Lucas,
a fucking BR.
speaking of streamers and Dr. Disrespect, this brings up just a topic I want to have a conversation on. So, recently, I'm actually not going to talk about Doc necessarily, but there's a streamer by the name of Summit1G who's currently kind of blown up a bit more than what he already has been, playing a game, Sea of Thieves, which we've all played before, have had fun on. And he plays it in a pirate sense in that he just goes around and he just PvPs. He just kills everyone, while some people try to have PvEs. He's gotten access to PvE servers, just gone in and just completely destroyed everyone. And he's actually tried to have talks with developers about like what he thinks should be added to the game, and he's tried to get a developer stream and stuff like that. But then other their core fan base said like, how can you condone this? Like, he's ruining the game for all these people, and so on and so forth. And kind of from Summit's aspect, you look at it in that he's just playing the game how he wants to play it, and so many, like, he has like 40,000 people watching him like on average now, and so many of those people have said, I bought this game because I saw you play it. So if you think about it, Summit is making that game money, which probably hasn't been making as much money because it kind of came out, got all of its money, and then people kind of don't play it as much,
Yeah,
except
it
for the
kind
hardcore.
of died down with hype and stuff.
So as a developer, are you supposed to look more towards your, hardcore fans, or you think you're supposed to lean more towards like these streamers and stuff like that? And just how much emphasis or how much power do you think streamers should really have over game developers?
So it's coming down to Summit. Like, what? Give me a word in the title. Sea of Thieves. Just name one of them. No. Thieves. What is Summit doing?
He's just being a pirate.
Stealing fucking loot from these kids. Like, it's a pirate game. Like, that's how the game. If Summit wants to play it like this, he's allowed to play like that. If it wasn't allowed, it wouldn't be an option.
Yeah, I agree with what Lucas is saying.
Like,
it wouldn't be in the game if they didn't want people to play like that.
He's like one of the first ones to do it, so that's why people are like, oh my god. Like, I'm sure there's been a lot of people to try it, but he's like mainstreaming this like way to play it. So I think it's gonna move towards in that direction. And I think Sea of Thieves, like, the developers should maybe look to change how the fighting is, make it a little more like easier, so more people want to do it or something. But I think if he wants to play like that, he should be allowed to play like that.
In terms of streamers having power over games, I'm not a fan of it. I think streamers are a big reason why games are kind of fucked up nowadays, because they kind of get paid by these games to promote this shit. For instance, Ninja is pretty much single-handedly keeping Fortnite alive, and all other streamers think that they have to play Fortnite as well to keep up with Ninja. But I think games need to be more player involved, I guess, like take more insight from the players as what they want, because they're the ones playing it. For instance, old school RuneScape.
Throwback, old school.
Okay, old school RuneScape. It was re-released in 2007, and the game is completely based off player insight. They have weekly polls where the players vote for the content that they want released. So, like, the developers will give like a list of shit and changes and fixes, and the players will vote. And the players have to vote. The vote has to be 70-30 in favor of that vote for it to pass. So the players decide all of the content in the game. The developer doesn't add anything unless the players know about it, because they're the ones voting for it. I think that if more games that, like Sea of Thieves, that like are online and based off what players do, like their actions, I think if more games followed this model, that games would be way better than what they are now. A lot of times developers just kind of force shit down players' throats, whether they like it or not, because they design the game, but they're not the ones playing it. I just feel like players' insight is more important than one guy who's playing it and 40 people are watching them, but that's just me.
Now, Lucas, what would you say? Like, you focus on, mainly Summit, but like, I know you watch Doc and you watch Tim the Tatman and stuff like that. So, like, do you think, like, clearly how you were saying, like, you think Ninja's single-handedly keeping Fortnite alive. So if you're Fortnite, then why would you not want to listen to your streamer and say...
Oh, exactly. They're doing it for money.
And say, hey, what should we do to make this game better?
I think Fortnite changes a lot, actually, based on their audience. Like, I think the customers and streamers give a lot of feedback, and that's why that game changes so often. But, I don't know. It just depends on the game, really. If streamers have opinions, maybe they take that advice, maybe they don't. But I think streamers are going to stream regardless. So, I don't know. It's kind of a mixture of both.
I don't know. I guess like the way I look at it is like streamers are gamers just like everyone else are. You know what I mean? Like they get pissed at video. I mean, Doc gets pissed every day pretty much at Battlefield and stuff like, or not Battlefield, BR and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if these game developers just bend every will to what some of these streamers say, it's just I just feel like you get such a point of just constantly changing and up and down and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
That's where I think like polls come into play. Like they should poll this shit, not just so that like the stream and the viewers in the stream have the opinion, but they also get the opinion from other people who don't watch the stream. You know, like someone who doesn't know who Doctor Disrespect is might like that update or something, and say other people who don't play the game that they watch Doc and then maybe they send their feedback even though they don't play the game just because they're Doc's fans. You know, they just want his opinion to be the most important. I think that it's kind of fucked up in that aspect, but I don't know. It's a crazy topic. It's crazy you brought it up.
Hey man. Now, do you guys think that games should focus more on like their core players, or do you think they should try to go more for masses? Like if you look at a game like World of Warcraft, I mean that game is so fucking old because it has that core group of people who just love it so much. Which I mean, granted, it is a huge core of people who play the game, but
it's just a mixture of both. Like again, like you have to obviously make money. You got to make your sales. You got to get it out there to a lot of people. So that means you got to please a lot of people. But by pleasing Group A, you're gonna displease Group B. Like there's just no way around it to an extent. Like you just got to keep a mixture of both. Take feedback where you can, and yeah, polls would be shit. Like why would you not do that? Like it makes so much sense to just get customer feedback. Even if let's say you get 100,000 votes on this total, 70% say yes, 30% say no. You're still gonna have 70% of the people that want this update. So you obviously know that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of hype around games with streamers, say like streamer doesn't like this update, gets it changed, and then a week later the streamer moves on to the next game, you know. And most of those fans are going to move on from that game too. I mean, some will probably keep playing it because they enjoy it, but a lot of them are just following the hype from the streamer. The ones that don't follow the streamer, that just play the game because it's fun, kind of get fucked because the updates are skewed towards the streamer that's just going to hop to another game in a few days anyways. So I feel like they should follow the core player base, but it's hard to determine who that is.
Fair enough. I guess I just thought of this the other day because I know I enjoy watching Chance. I know me and you both enjoy watching Summit, and I know that's just kind of like he'll tweet at developers, and I know just so many people just hate how he gives such like a negative thing, and it's like if you're a developer, Summit's bringing in so much extra income, not to your dead game, but to a game that was essentially dead for a lot of people. You know, I mean, we really wouldn't have picked it up a whole lot.
I personally think that he brings more excitement to that game.
Yeah,
if everyone's just going around and doing like what everyone did before, which was just like collect treasure and not attack anybody, it gets pretty boring pretty quick. But having that fear of someone attempting to attack you at all times is kind of like a thrill. You know what I mean? It adds a different aspect to the game.
And we stopped playing pretty much because it got boring. Because we got tired of doing the same missions. So
we got tired collecting chickens.
And like, PvP wasn't really a thing, so we didn't like think about doing that. We didn't like worry about it, like you said. But if that's if they integrate that into the game more, it's a whole new style of game. I
mean, like PvP has always been a thing. I just feel like it's not as like before. It was like I have shit that I don't want to lose, so I don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah, so you just drive away. But now you're like, oh, maybe let's go loot these guys or something. But now Summit does it. Let's try it.
Yeah, Summit showed me where all to hide, so now I can just hide everywhere on the ship and just fucking completely destroy some kids and hopefully make some kids cry.
It's funny though. He was smart. He fucking revolutionized that game.
He honestly did.
I mean, he literally has like he's
literally
like
biggest
blew
he's
up.
ever been.
He
probably.
blew up just playing Sea of Thieves randomly one day.
And he's obviously enjoying it because he's been playing it for about a month now.
And I will say like Summit is like some streamers you can tell they kind of change a bit whenever they get big. Summit has always been relatively a big streamer, but like he's still just like such a chill, laid back dude. So for anyone who hasn't ever watched Summit play or anything, I would highly recommend. Let's go check him out. So, last story of the week. So this is a Kotaku article that highlights former Gearbox lawyer accuses CEO Randy Pitchford of taking secret $12 million bonus in lawsuit Gearbox calls absurd. So pretty much what this was someone was trying to sue CEO of Gearbox who came out with games such as Borderlands and Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Trash game. That game fucking sucks.
Alien Colonial Marines?
Alien.
Yeah. But Borderlands, primo game. So pretty much trying to sue him, saying that he took this money allegedly that was supposed to go into development, and it was $12 million, which is a fuck ton of money, especially for development of a game. Another thing that came up in the lawsuit was that he left a flash drive sitting around or out in public, and on that flash drive were things such as important accounts and stuff like that for Gearbox, like special things, as well as his own. Okay, this is quote. Upon information and belief, Randy Pitchford's USB drive also contained Randy Pitchford's personal collection of underage pornography.
Jesus Christ.
He left this shit out in the open?
What?
Okay, so then, no, this is what I wanted to read. Several hours after the publication, on a podcast, Ars Technica tracked down, or I guess had Pitchford on, and he talked about this, and he said that it was of a cam girl. This pornography was a cam girl in which the woman streams live erotic content, and explained that he had saved a porn video of a cam girl and said on said memory stick before it was lost. So then this is quotes. He said this, okay? It's a woman who is masturbating, Pitchford said, and when she has some experience that appears as if she is having an orgasm, a huge amount of fluid comes out of her vagina. Just like this is not a sex worker. It's a fucking this is a fucking magician. He added,
This dude's a CEO?
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Saying he had purchased one of her videos and put it on the USB stick. Some kid, an employee of the medieval times, discovered this memory stick, took it home and accessed it because it was before we were password protecting, and discovered secrets of my company and future games and development, and also discovered the pornography. And it was barely legal porn. This girl's handle was only 18 in air quotes. So clearly Gearbox has sent out some things saying that they're going to find the bottom of this and all that, but this is some pretty serious accusations to be thrown around right there.
The story just sounds fucked from the beginning.
Why would this guy
have
Is this on the Youngin
porn?
or something? This
No, this is on Kotaku.
Why would this
Legit.
guy have porn on a fucking flash drive that he also had secrets to the company on? And he's just
It's like a
leaving
fucking meme.
Just leaving this shit out in the open all the
Is this
time.
the next Indiana Jones movie?
So yeah, he says this is from the article. The person says that Pitchford left a USB drive in Dallas, Texas restaurant containing sensitive corporate documents for Gearbox and its partners, including 2K Games, Sega, Sony, Microsoft, and others. Says the
How
lawsuit.
big is this fucking flash
Why the
drive?
fuck would you take it to a restaurant?
Why would you have it on you?
Maybe he just had it in his pocket, man, and it fell out or something. Maybe it was a business
Oh,
meeting.
And
sick.
some
I got
kid
this.
just found it and took it home and put it on his computer.
Listen, I'm just telling you guys the facts because I thought it was funny as hell reading this and saying this dude came on a podcast and said
The
that.
fucking dudes at work are like, oh no, she just sent me another video. I don't know how to save it. Oh, this doesn't look important. Fucking, how do you stick it on a flash drive that has that shit on
He
there?
purchased it. He purchased the video.
He purposely put it onto that flash
And
drive.
then he was like, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna put this on my personal flash drive that has all these company secrets."
And leave it at this fucking restaurant.
And then,
in Dallas,
at
Texas.
what point do you think he thought he might have lost?
Use the cloud, bro. Use the fucking cloud.
Dude, but people can hack the cloud.
You can probably
You
hide
can't
that.
People can
better.
find your fucking flash drive at a restaurant in Dallas, Texas.
He was thinking he was probably like, the only way someone can get the information is if they take it out of my pocket. And
Maybe he was like jerking it in the bathroom and it like fell out or something.
so I just thought it was a funny article that I really wanted to share with you guys.
I wonder how bad the stocks have plummeted at Gearbox. That guy's definitely gone.
Well, so here's the thing. It's only allegations. Nothing has been approved
He's
or
still
confirmed.
fucked. He's gone.
So, but yeah, it's pretty much the fact that he said that this bitch is a magician. She's a fucking magician. So, Lucas,
Hey.
next time you're with one of your Tinder dates, you just whisper in her ear, "You're a fucking
Hey,
magician."
Lucas got that magic stick, so he's good.
You already know what it is.
Oh man, all right. Well, Chance, it was great having you back.
Yeah, it was good to be
It
back.
feels whole again to have the trio here.
I missed you guys.
Lucas, why do you
Gotta love it.
Lucas, why do you just have this most uncomfortable look on your
I'm
face?
just so happy that everything's back.
Lucas has like that same flash drive with like his work shit. And porn
I'm just
on
trying
it.
to think how to delete it.
He's trying to think of like a way to secure it so he'll never leave it at a restaurant.
Because what you do is you just got to get it, get like an earring or something. Just put it in.
You gotta get one of those like old school chains that people used to have that like connected to their wallets and just connect it to your flash drive. So that if it ever falls out of your pocket, it'll just hang there.
Sick.
I don't see anything wrong with that one. All right. Well, hey, make sure you check us out on Twitter at TrashGearSports. Subscribe to our YouTube, Google Play, Spotify. Check us out there. Make sure you check out last week's episode. It was just me and Lucas, man down. And yeah, just thanks for listening. We appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
Know what I
Man
mean?
down.
All right, guys. Until next time. Thank you.
See ya.
Peace.